Adverbs of frequency. Let's see what happened in practice, because the theory seemed to be clear. So 6 sentences, what you need to do is to put the adverb in the correct place. And let's explain why. My brother never speaks to me. Never is the adverb of frequency. The verb speaks. You know that when we have a meaningful verb different from a form of the verb to be, the adverb goes in front of the verb. So never speaks. Susan is always polite. Is always. The verb is. It is a form of the verb to be. It means that the adverb needs to be after the verb is. Susan is always. I usually finish work at 5. Usually finish. Finish is the verb. It's a meaningful verb, and you have an adverb of frequency in advance. The adverb of frequency goes in front of the verb. Usually finish. I rarely go. Same logic. Go, meaningful verb. Adverb of frequency, rarely. So rarely goes in front of the verb. The bus isn't usually late. Isn't, negative form of the verb to be, exactly. And you know that the rule says the adverb goes after the form of the verb to be. The bus isn't usually late. I don't often eat fish. So here be careful. Yes, you have the verb. You know that in front of the verb, meaningful verb, you put the adverb. Be careful with the negative part, with don't. What people usually do is that they try to say something as I don't eat fish often, or I often don't eat fish. Well, although it's possible in some situations, the best way and the one that's really correct is I don't often eat fish. At least at the beginning, while you're studying the language, try to follow the rules as they are. Of course, when you start talking more and more, you will get used to the language. You will be able to express yourself without thinking about the rules at all. But it's really important to understand the basics in the correct way. Why? Because otherwise, when there is something wrong at the very beginning, it's really, really hard to correct it later on. It just doesn't happen like that. Imagine that you can't make, for example, simple calculations, and at the same time you want to study mathematics at university. Well, you can't. You need to catch up. That's why the easiest way, just learn the basics really good or really well. It's a question for you. Good. See you in the next section.